So what we have here today is a failure by um, Hasbro's QC. So as you can see, this hand or this arm can be rotated all the way up to the top as such. This one cannot. Do you see this peg is way out here almost, you can do a T almost. And this one will not do a T. It just refuses. So it never really went horizontal. It always stayed down. Unfortunately, I didn't know my own strength, and this peg started to, as you can see right there, started to separate, right? So a long time ago, I learned a technique in modeling called pinning. And what we're going to attempt to do is take a steel rod and insert it through here, pin it into that, reinforce this pin, and then add some epoxy while putting in the pin to reinforce this joint while not impinging or intruding upon this joint here, so that we can reinforce this and eventually create that with some lubricant and some motion and some heat, create some ease of motion there. So this is a pretty screwed up. This is a pretty big screw up from Hasbro. They're gonna let this go. If I asked them for a refund, they wouldn't do it. If I asked them for another figure, they might send me, I don't know, Falcon, the worst one of the bunch, or they might send me some, other action figure that I have no interest in. So my interest was in this one, and so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to fix this one. Thanks to a couple of other people, I've already got another Outback, but this one, I'm kind of making this video for some of the guys that maybe aren't as lucky as I am to be able to acquire additional Outbacks, or maybe they have their favorite figure and it breaks. So let's try and get that done and see how it goes. So we're going to take this, I guess it's called a pin drill, and we're going to try and drill right into that. And I'll come back to you and we'll see how it goes. So what we've done now is we've created basically a pilot hole. I had to actually go and get a thinner drill because that other drill was a little bit too big. And we created a pilot hole there with a much smaller drill head, or just a smaller drill head there into the socket. And what we're going to do is actually clean that out a little more. As you can see, we're in there pretty good. Again, I don't want to get too deep into it and hinder that movement of the joint. We'll see how that works out now. So yeah, let's we'll continue to work at it, and I'll stop at each step of the way and fill you in on it. All right, so now we're just simply taking, again, this was the first drill, and this is the second drill, and now we're just widening that spot a little more. And it will involve a little bit of a Dremel piece, and I'll show you guys what we're going to go do with that as well. And it's probably going to involve a little bit of epoxy on this as well. So yeah, just going in and widening that pilot hole and cleaning up that area. So what we've done is I found that these little guys work best. So what I've basically done is I've taken one of these hook kind of hangers that you would maybe drill into a wood a wood structure, and then hang maybe a small potted plant or something from it, or whatever you would hang from this thing. The reason I take them is because they're metal, they're hard metal, and on top of that you have a point where you can kind of a fulcrum or leverage to twist and turn into it. The part where you're going to need probably a Dremel is where we start to cut this piece off here, right? So I basically took off the pointy part because we don't need that anymore. We've already got a pilot hole into the figure there. The only thing we'll need is, and I cut off the tip there, so that shouldn't be a big deal. And we're gonna start, twisting that in there, and we're gonna use some epoxy or super glue before we twist it in there, and we're gonna have to do this pretty quickly to secure it in place, as well as not only will it be super glued in place, but then also the threading will hold it in place as well. So that should be very secure. All right, so the plan originally was to just drill a small hole and hold the plug in place. Well, that plan failed miserably. So what we had to do instead was actually go behind the joint after heating this up tremendously but carefully so that we didn't burn through it, and forcing a screw behind it. I'm going to have to add a little bit of flex here to repair that, a little bit of even some bonding stuff right here to hold this together. It's a tough repair. This is absolutely the worst repair ever. And this is, again, the testament to the hard work and quality assurance of Hasbro. Thank you, Hasbro, for allowing me to do this. This is absolutely incredible of you. So yeah, we'll continue on this road, on this challenge. So now the next thing to do is, again, fortify this joint here with some epoxy and some glue, and then we're going to take the original pin, the original drop, which is this, and we're going to screw it onto there, and then we're going to add the arm later. So where is that arm? It's somewhere around here. Here it is. So hopefully we've got enough room and clearance, and we've kind of guesstimated it just right to where it'll fit. I'm hoping so. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys posted on it and see how it goes. This has got to be one of the most in-depth replacements I've ever done. Amazing quality, Hasbro, amazing. So after taking some time and recreating that sculpt a little bit around there, filling in with some epoxy, the piece of the plastic that had basically kind of ripped apart there, we've basically created another joint here. The next step is for us to go ahead and start adding, that fell, is adding this piece to it right on there, just like that, and then we'll finish adding this arm back. See how that goes. So next time we take a look at this, we're probably going to heat this up quite a bit, heat his arm up quite a bit, so that we can easily slide this back on here. And again, you could clearly see that, there's some space in there now, and we've got quite a bit of opening there, so that we've created, on that disc, we've created a lot of room for that to move around, and that joint can be good now. So let's see how it goes. Again, I didn't really mean to go, this is a tremendous repair. I thought we could do it the other way, but again, thanks to Hasbro shenanigans, here we are. All right, just want to let you guys know that after a little fiddling with it, and definitely you got to heat this bottom part quite a bit up. You got to really heat it up. But after fiddling with it for a little bit, we managed to get that arm back on, and it's actually really, really solid. I mean, there's a little bit of a gap there, but gosh, I think we did pretty good, all things considered. And the last step is to get it back onto the figure and see how it looks. After that, it's really solid. We did some, moving it around and stuff, and this part is nice and articulated. So we should be good to go now. I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit, and then we're gonna snap it back into the body, and we'll go from there. So here we have it, the final product of what we did to correct that QC issue from Hasbro. What we did with epoxy and steel, I kind of feel like it's the $1 million man / Outback now. As you can see, he has full range now of his joint. There's a little bit of a gap there that you can see where we repaired it. I don't think it's too bad. His arm rotates fully, and it goes down fully as well. And we do have the ability to rotate it. Here, let me bring it up a little bit more. And we do have the ability to rotate it around there as well. It's tight, it's good. It's it's ready to be handled. Would I have liked better QC from Hasbro? Yeah, but it's par for the course. Hasbro's gonna Hasbro. So it does what it does. We've got the full range. Again, you can really pose it. You can do what you need to with it. T-pose it. Same with this arm. So it's it's good. I wish it could have gotten a little better there, a little closer, a little tighter. But best we could do with what we had. I'll come back to a more when he's all decked out again with all his gear and all his stuff put back on, so we can see a final look as to what the finished product is, and we could go from there. So I'll be doing some more, maybe if I find some more figures that I need to repair. But like I said, always have a plan B. I guess even we could have even gone into where we pretty much swapped out this whole joint with another Joe and maybe even colored it in. But I really wanted to show you how to fix it with what you had, with things that were around the house. And if you guys, have any questions about what I used, how I did it, there's always, ingenuity to these figures and how to repair them. If you have to, make sure when I plug this back in, I had to really make sure that this part here was very heated so I could plug it in snugly and not have it break on me, or not have it, bust on me or anything like that. So anyways, that's let me put them back together, and we'll do a quick some action shots with them, and that'll be the end of that video moving forward. So appreciate your guys' time. Thanks for watching, and here's some quick action shots with the repaired version of Outback. Guys, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope I helped you out with this tutorial. Thank you. If you have any questions about how I did anything in it or anything I used, please put that in the comments and I'll be glad to answer it.